Salam everyone. I have been researching the topic of medicine in the Quran, and I know some people suggested that I would open an actual book of medicine, but God says that He left nothing out of this book, and so therefore I trust God. And in Surah 16, God tells us that honey is a healing for the people. And as Muslims who believe that the Quran is the word of God, we trust God. And therefore, when God says that honey is a healing for the people, this means any ailments that we have, honey will heal it. If you have a headache, take some honey. If you have diabetes, take some honey. If you have cancer, take some honey and rub the honey on top of the cancer. If you have a toothache, put some honey on there. It'll go away. And so forth. Of course, all those physicians, all those doctors, those surgeons, those dentists, all of them who have went to school for 10, 15 years to study human anatomy are a bunch of liars. They have wasted their time, they are lying to us, and they do not believe in God. Those are just a bunch of atheists. Because they don't want us to find out the truth. They don't want us to know that honey heals the people. They know that honey heals the people, but they're hiding it from us. Instead, they're giving us drugs, these prescription drugs, and they just simply don't want us to know the truth. In fact, if you yourself are taking anything besides honey, then most likely you are going to hell. You are following Satan, not God, because God tells you take honey, but you are taking something else. So here's my message to all the people, especially those lying physicians. Stop lying to us. It is honey that is going to heal us. Any problems, any ailments that we have, honey is going to heal us. Not your lying prescription drugs, you atheists. Wassalamu alaikum. Salam everyone. I hope my rant about honey was not taken seriously because I was not being serious. What I was trying to do, though, was to draw a parallel for you as to what it's like to have this one-sided type of interpretation of the Quran and how it impacts the Quran as well as everything around them, reality basically. And I am referring specifically to those who claim that the Quran speaks of a flat earth. I'm not nitpicking, I am not condescending, I'm not mocking, I promise. This could of course apply to anybody and anything, but I'm referring specifically in this case to the flat earthers. I see that the problem is really twofold. The first problem is the Quranic interpretation. If we are interpreting the Quran, if we are drawing a premise, an erroneous premise from the Quran, then everything else that we build upon it is going to be erroneous as well. It's important that we take the Quranic text into consideration. We're taking the key terms being used, the context, cross-referencing the verses against each other, and making sure that we do not extrapolate an interpretation that is not there. God describes the natural world in the Quran in a very simple manner. And we need to take that into consideration. And that's why I say that the Quran does not speak of the shape of the earth, not a globe and not flat, but simply God is simply describing the habitable conditions of the earth. That is all. And the second problem becomes, of course, our observational realities. Now, a lot of flat earthers will say, well, look around you, the earth looks flat and so forth. But we need to consider the very tool that God gave us, which is the mind. And the mind enables us to have other tools, to create tools that will enable us to, of course, determine the true shape of the earth. And so we need to take both aspects into consideration. As Muslims, it's important that we use our investigative thought process as well to understand how the Quran is understood, and also how we are understanding our reality. Both of them need to coincide with each other. If one contradicts the other, we're going to have a problem. So if we are to draw a mirror, put a mirror against this whole concept, against what I was ranting about the honey, if you are curious, in regards to the honey. Now, if I had that one-sided thought process, I would read the verse that talks about honey, and then I would I would automatically conclude that, hey, God says honey cures everything, and so all the medicine, all the surgeons, all the dentists, they're all wrong. They're all lying to us. I can blame everybody for lying. Or I can just simply blame myself for having the wrong interpretation of the Quranic text. And this indeed would be the case. The Quran says, "Fihi shifa'un linnas." In it there is healing for the people. So indeed, scientifically speaking, honey does have healing properties for the people. It has antibacterial properties in honey. There's antibacterial properties for it. God does not say in it there is the healing for the people. Al-shifa'u linnas. God does not say al-shifa'u linnas. Al-shifa'u linnas means healing for the healing for the people. God does not say that. Rather, God says shifa'un linnas, healing for the people, meaning that there is healing properties. So something as simple as being unable to determine the difference between shifa, heal, versus al-shifa, the healing, that has a huge impact as to how the verse is understood. So that just gives you an example, draws you a parallel of what is the thought process like between having a one-sided type of thought process, disregarding everything, all the other facts away, just because I have this notion about what the Quran says, but or we can actually consider the whole context of the Quran, as well as the language of it, the keywords of it, the context of it, and how it tests against reality. So I hope this helps. Wassalamu alaikum.